Benjamin Emons Whitehall wrote in and said, "Hey, Goopy Gators. What's the deal with Sony slowly releasing previous gen exclusives on the PC? What's their strategy? I feel like they're trying to entice customers over onto their PlayStation ecosystem by way of going, hey, look at how cool these games are, right? Come to our console to play even more and get future installments. To be clear, this is fantastic. But I feel like the games they put on the PC as of now are the weakest ones. Horizon Zero Dawn was a great release on the PC and made sense considering Death Stranding's port, but they've only followed up with Days Gone so far, which feels like the weakest of their releases. What about Ghost of Tsushima, God of War, Uncharted, or The Last of Us? These are the signature AAA games from the PS4's generation, and considering Sony's new focus on blockbusters, it would only make sense for them to show these off to PC players, in turn dangling the carrot on the stick in front of their faces to drive even more sales on the PS5. The lack of communication on this feels like a big mistake."
Wow.
Chris, I was going to say, why don't they release those games on PC, Chris?
Yeah, well, okay, let me just cure you of a delusion here. I don't think Uncharted or The Last of Us are ever coming to PC. I think those games specifically, those are just, that's PlayStation. Like that, I think those are staying. Maybe Uncharted, but again, it's like the fact that all those older games are like locked on. Maybe 1, 2, and 3 or something one day, but I agree with you. I don't think The Last of Us. That's never gonna. I don't think The Last of Us is ever coming to PC. I agree with you. Ghost of Tsushima is very, very new, so that's a while away. If that's coming to PC, you could still milk it, but I think they're going to let some time pass. They're going to let some time pass before. I think Horizon makes sense because of the time. I think Death Stranding makes sense because it wasn't a proper first party. I think Days Gone makes sense kind of specifically because it wasn't this, grandiose, like huge title. It's like, okay, we've got something that's good, but not like it's not going to affect us dramatically if we put this over on PC, So why not put it over on PC? It's a good game. People are going to be interested in it. God of War, I think you will see. I think God of War is something that will be on PC. I think specifically it will probably release. My hunch is that they would put it out to promote God of War 2. That might be wrong because I have no idea when this second game is coming out at this point. It feels like a fall 2022 game at this point.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I totally agree.
Yeah. But, I just think Uncharted and The Last of Us, I think Naughty Dog is just premium PlayStation, and I don't think that they would put that anywhere else. I think they're more flexible with other studios and other IP, more so than they are with Naughty Dog. I think they got to protect that.
Dustin, I was going to say before I throw it over to you, I think another reason Days Gone might have been enticing is because it runs on Unreal, so they don't really have to do much.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
is that the two games they've put out? I mean, not only do they make sense in the fact Horizon 2 is coming, but they are also the easiest games for them to put out because Decima, all of the work to get it running on PC was already done at that point with Death Stranding. And as you said, Days Gone's running on Unreal, so that was very easy, I'm sure.
Yeah, that was probably very modular for them. I think Chris is right too, though, Dustin. Like, you got to see. I actually don't think it's a bad idea for them to release PlayStation games on PC. I'm in the minority on that, though. I think this is something Sony needs to manage because people were really upset when Horizon came over. Now, I don't know if that matters or not, but Horizon doesn't mean anything to Sony or to PlayStation fans compared to like what Drake or The Last of Us mean. I mean, people are going to lose their... If The Last of Us goes to PC, people are going to fucking melt down.
Good.
And I don't think it's even worth it to like even risk it. Yeah.
Dude, it's such a stupid argument. Like, you want as many people to love the same franchises that you love, so that when the new property comes out, you send a message when everyone buys it that you want more of it. Like,
right.
It doesn't matter if it's on PC or PS4. Like, I don't know. When you get into the territory of people being mad about exclusives, old exclusives coming to PC, you're getting into territory where you're not thinking logically anymore.
Yeah.
It makes no sense, and you're just being a fanboy. Thank you.
I do wonder. I think Chris is right where. I agree with you, Dustin. I mean, people call me a fanboy all the time, and I was one of the biggest advocates of them releasing as many games as possible on PC because I think it's important to the ecosystem. You wring the water out of the towel. It's over. There's nothing else to be done. I mean, this is what John Carvin was saying. It actually would have behooved Ben to get the game out on PC sooner if they want. So it's weird how that interplay works.
Yeah. I would also say like the games that have been on PC, and it's the reason why I don't think Uncharted or The Last of Us are going to go to PC, beyond the engine reasons and beyond like just Naughty Dog's importance to Sony. I think you got Days Gone, you got Death Stranding, you got Horizon, you have I think Ghost is probably also coming at some point, eventually, far later down the line. These are new IP. You know, these are the jumping in points for these franchises. It's not like Uncharted where there's 3 previous games that people can't even get running on PC reliably, or like, you know, The Last of Us, which they're clearly not going to put on PC because they're remaking the fucking first game again, which they would have no reason to do if they were just going to, you know, put the first game on PC. And you have God of War, which is the 4th game. Yeah, it's a soft reboot, but you're jumping into the middle of this thing, you know? Like, I think they're kind of operating on, like, what experiences can we drive people, that we can draw people in with, that they can feel like they're being welcomed into something new without feeling like they've been missing out on something. Because I think there's a danger to that, you know? That's why or at least that's what I feel part of the decision-making was with 343 and over on the Xbox side, when they were putting out the Halo collection on PC, they started with Halo Reach, which was chronologically the first one, but the last one developed. It's a way to get these people into these universes without making them feel like they're missing out on shit. And right now, Uncharted 1, 2, 3 are just not playable on even modern PlayStation hardware. So like, I don't know.
Yeah,
well, they have the what is it, the
Blue
collection,
Point games.
I guess.
Yeah, but I understand what you're saying, because I feel like,
I think that plays into the strategy a little bit, not entirely.
Yeah.
I don't think that's even like close to the majority of the reason why, but I think it plays into it.
Well, I think the thing with God of War is interesting too, because I feel like Sony has like multiple beats that they can hit. And I think this might be why they're not talking about God of War, the first one on PS5 right now, is because they actually have this built-in like interstitial where they're like, all right, to tease God of War Ragnarok, we're going to bring God of War to PS5. Then once you check that box, then you check the PC box. So I feel like they can do this multiple times, right? It's like port Ghost of Tsushima to PS5, then port it to PC. You know?
I would say I don't think they're going to port I don't think they're going to port God of War or Ghost of Tsushima to PS5, because I think the PS4 versions on PS5 already run about as well as a PS5 port would. Like, there's not really much improvement that you could do there that isn't already done. I think we already have these ports, which is why I think the PC port is the next thing that's going to happen. I'm just curious as to like, how long ago did Horizon come to PC? How long ago was that? Was that
that was not even, that was a few months ago. That was not even.
So that was a few months ago. We still don't know when Horizon is coming out, but when we get Horizon's release date, we can kind of make an assumption, right? Because we can see like how long before launch of Horizon 2 did Horizon 1 come to PC, and then we can kind of make a judgment call as to like, you know, if God of War does come to PC, then we have a pretty good idea of when God of War 2 might be planned for. But until we have that information for both Horizon and the God of War PC port, we're kind of in the dark and we're kind of stumbling. So I don't really know what to say as far as that goes, but don't expect Uncharted and Last of Us on PC. Just don't.
I agree with you. I mean, I especially with The Last of Us, I just think that that's like the crown jewel. Uncharted used to be, but I agree with you. Naughty Dog's games almost seem untouchable. That seems like the way you would court people. Just to answer your question, it was longer ago than I thought. August 7th. I thought it was earlier this year for some reason. Why am I getting that confused with? Am I getting that confused with something else? What else came out? No.
August 7th?
I guess
really?
It
was that long ago?
Yeah. Oh, no, Days Gone. I'm a fucking idiot. That's what I'm getting confused with. Days Gone just came to PC. Okay, so that's why I was confused.
So that's a long time, actually. It's actually, that makes it even more concerning that we haven't heard anything about about God of War 2 or a PC port to God of War.
Well, I do think we always talk about Sony making the right decisions. I just want to encourage people to let Sony make decisions too, just in the sense that they need data. We don't want them to make assumptions, right, about the way things would go. So they're getting data. I don't know that the data is very good, by the way. I don't know that they're that encouraged by the data, but they're gathering it. You know, they're seeing how games are selling. They're seeing how their games are running. And I don't think Horizon set the sales world on fire at all on PC. And that might be all they needed to know. And now they're going to see what Days Gone and they're going to continue to chronicle it. So we'll see. I just think as hard as we are on Sony often, we have to give them room to at least discover what they need to do. And you can't do that because we just said they made an assumption based on PS3 and Vita stores clearly just by looking at data. But they didn't gather it from the right sources. They needed to go to the people first. And I think that this is maybe the way they do that. So we'll see.
Sure.
But it was a good question.